All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as the Falcons beat the Rams on Monday Night Football. And what does that mean for the 49ers in their push to the playoffs? All right, let's talk a little bit about it. Falcons now go to 7-9. Rams fall to 11-5. The Rams right now are the 6th seed and would take on Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Philly would be the 3 seed right now. Now, this is all subject to change. The 49ers could be the 1 seed if they beat Seattle on Saturday night, or they could be the 5 seed if they lose. And if they lose, they could wind up being the 5 seed and go to Carolina or Tampa Bay. Or if the Niners lose and the Rams win, and the Rams finish up the year by playing the Arizona Cardinals. Rams finish, it's Arizona at LA in week 18. Rams are 6-1 at home. So if the Niners lose to Seattle and the Rams beat Arizona, the Niners can fall back to the 6th seed and either play Philadelphia or Chicago on the road. So they could get the 1 seed and have a first round bye and play the lowest remaining seed in the divisional round. If they beat if they beat Seattle, that's the deal. If they lose to Seattle, they potentially could be the 5 seed and play on the road against Carolina or Tampa, or they could still be the 6th seed and play on the road against Philadelphia or Chicago. So that's what's, as far as this game tonight, Falcons beat the Rams 27-24. Bijan Robinson ran for 195 yards. It was the ex-Niner with the game-winning field goal. Zane Gonzalez connected from 51 yards out. That was the difference in the ball game and broke the 24-24 tie. How about the Falcons, though? The Falcons are just the most Jekyll and Hyde football team. They were looking amazing. Then they played the Niners. Niners ran all over them. Then they went into a free fall. And behind Kirk Cousins, they're playing good ball. They've won 3 in a row. They led the Rams 21-0 at halftime. The Rams' vaunted defense with Matthew Stafford was shut out in the first half. Now, what had happened to the Rams in this game? Matthew Stafford threw 3 picks. And this is what happens, in his career, Matthew Stafford has always had a great arm. He's always made big plays down the field. He's always thrown lots of touchdown passes. But in the past, unlike this year, he's thrown a lot of interceptions. This year, for the most part, he's found a way to minimize his interceptions until tonight, where he had 3. So now you get a LA team that's not necessarily playing all that well. They've lost 2 in a row. Now, they didn't have Devontae Adams tonight. They didn't have Alaric Jackson. They didn't have Kevin Dotson, 2 of their starting offensive linemen. They didn't have Quentin Lake, who's one of their best defensive backs, one of the best safeties in pro football. So they were without a few guys for sure. But Stafford's 3 interceptions, they got into a 21-0 hole. Eventually, they jumped back in it and tied the game, only to see the Falcons' Zane Gonzalez make a 51-yard field goal to give Atlanta the lead. And then the Rams had one last possession, and on 4th and 10, Stafford threw incomplete to Puka Nacua, and the game belonged to Atlanta. So, as I said, Arizona's in LA next week. Rams are 6-1 at home. Niners take on the Seahawks at Levi's. Niners, I thought, opened as a 1.5-point favorite, but I'm looking now, Seahawks are a 1.5-point favorite. Seahawks are a really good football team. They got a great defense. They're number 2 rated offense in points per game. They're number 2 rated defense in points per game allowed. So, Seattle's a really good team. Statistically, they may have the best statistical profile of any team. So who would you want to play? You want the first round bye, of course. But if you can't get the first round bye, you want to go to Chicago? You want to go to Philadelphia? Or do you want to go to, be as the 6th seed? Or I think you much prefer to be the 5 seed and go to Carolina or Tampa Bay. So I think the most unlikely scenario is the Niners play on the road against Carolina or Tampa Bay, because I just don't see Arizona beating the Rams in LA in week 18. I know it's a division game and anything can happen in division games, so I just don't see it. I think the Rams are going to go to 7-1 at home. They're going to beat Arizona. So it sounds to me like what's most likely is either the 49ers win on Saturday night, get the first round bye. They get the first round bye. They get the lowest remaining seed will come to Levi's in the division round. Green Bay is the 7th seed, and they're locked into it. So if Green Bay wins in the playoffs in the wild card round, it will be Green Bay coming to the Niners in the division round. I think that would probably be the preferred route for the 49ers is get that 1 seed, then get the Packers in the division round. The second choice, obviously, not obviously, but in my opinion, would be win, or if you lose to Seattle in Week 18, but then Arizona beats the Rams, then you're going to get the Carolina-Tampa Bay winner is going to be the champion of the NFC South. And Carolina's 8-8, Tampa Bay 7-9. Tampa Bay is playing Carolina at home on Saturday before the Niners-Seahawks game. Tampa Bay is a 2.5-point favorite to win that game. Carolina is 1-2 since the bye week. They lost to the Niners by 11 points, 20-9. Tampa Bay beat the Niners 30-19 way back in Week 6. But they have hit the skids since. I mean, Tampa Bay's lost 4 in a row. If you look closely, Tampa Bay's lost 7 of 8. So I think there's no question that the first choice is get the 1 seed, the first round bye, and have maybe, the lowest remaining seed coming to Levi's. Obviously, the first seed and the first round bye, playing at home, that's all the priority. That's the first priority. The second priority is if you lose to Seattle on Saturday night, that if the Rams somehow could lose to Arizona, you're playing the Carolina-Tampa Bay winner at Levi's, or I should say on the road, not at Levi's. If the Niners lose to Seattle on Saturday night, they'll play and LA beats Arizona this weekend. The Niners will go to Philly or Chicago in the 6-3 matchup, and the Niners would be the 6th seed. If Arizona beats LA and the Niners lose to Seattle, then the Niners would get the Carolina-Tampa winner on the road. So I'd rather go play Tampa in Tampa. I'd rather go play Carolina in Carolina than necessarily play the Bears in Chicago or the Eagles in Philly. But that's the way it lays out. That's the way it lays out for the 49ers. So interesting, very interesting. The goal, obviously, beat Seattle and somehow, some way, get that done. Get that done Saturday night at Levi's. Beat Seattle, control your own destiny, be the 1 seed, have the bye. I think the bye is really, really critical, to be honest, when you look at the injuries. And playing 1 less playoff game would be really, really great. If you lose to Seattle and the Rams lose to Arizona, then you get the Carolina-Tampa winner. Probably going to be Tampa. Would be my guess, but you never know. That's kind of a coin flip game. And then if you lose to Seattle and LA beats Arizona like I would expect, then you're either going to get Chicago or Philly on the road. As the Niners would be the 6th seed, and Chicago or Philly would be the 3 seed, and the 49ers would have to go on the road into the cold, hostile weather and hostile situation in Philly or Chicago and beat those teams in their backyard on the road. Now, 49ers are running the ball better than they have, and Chicago's defense doesn't look great. So, they may have a little bit of a mental edge on Chicago from having beaten them. Philly, I don't think much of Philly, but they are the defending Super Bowl champions, and who knows? They might be able to get it dialed up. I think if I could choose, I would choose the Niners obviously get the 1 seed, but if I had to choose one of the 4 opponents without the 1 seed, I would say, give me Carolina. Give me Carolina. I think 49ers Panthers would be very, very nice as a first playoff game. So there you go. Falcons beat the Rams 27-24. Falcons finished the year on a 3-game winning streak but missed the playoffs. Raheem Morris, did he do enough to save his job? I don't know. Sean McVay looked really pissed at the end of that game. But the Rams were not at full strength. So we're brought to you, of course, by Pig and a Pickle. The best barbecue in all of Northern California is Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. And 49er football season is presented all season long by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop where you get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chats, season-long leagues, and of course Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, easy to remember, Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. So thanks to Pig in a Pickle, thanks to Sleeper, and thanks to you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.